I gotta hand it to this episode for doing a pretty impressive display of action. I remember this in the manga. I remember reading this, and to be honest, when I read the manga, this overall fight wasn't as impressive as the anime showed. This episode, made that fight between Karma versus Nagisa so much more impactful, and it looks so much better. Oh my god, when you just see the punches to the kicks to, flipping around and all that, get behind them and all that, grappling them, it was just, the fight. I gotta give props to the production team for what they did with this episode, because that right there stunned me with how much better this was compared to the manga. Because like I said, I love the meaning of this when I first read it, the manga, but the fighting wasn't nothing to just say, oh, that's 10 out of 10, but I'm not going to say this was 10 out of 10, but I will say, however, for a series that does not focus on action, remember, Assassination Classroom, it may be about assassinations and stuff, but it's not really an action-orientated series. It's mainly about lessons, life lessons and stuff, and I mean, a little bit of action here and there, but nothing that is the main core focus. So, it's kind of a different type of a shonen series. And when you think about it like that, and you actually get a fight scene that is pretty amazing and probably better than some shonen battles, you're like, holy crap, this blows me away. Because, I mean, imagine if this mangaka really focused on, like, a battle shonen or something. Imagine how some of these fights would be. Because, I mean, look how great this fight was in the anime. It looked rather impressive. So, the overall arc that we got into has come to a close. And we have it to where Nagisa's team, Team Nagisa, he wins. He's the one that comes on top. Even though, at the end of the day, you could say Karma could have won, because he had the upper hand at the end. He could have, knifed Nagisa in the back. He didn't. But we also have to argue that Nagisa could have shot Karma before they even initiated close quarters combat. So, Nagisa might have won in the end as well, but maybe Karma might have dodged. One or the other could have happened, but still, the main thing is that in this fight, it wasn't mainly about the action. Even though, like I was already saying, it had some really good action that blew me away, it was more about the meaning of this fight, what it stood for, and how it concluded. And this kind of opens the way up for the next part of the series, the final stretch before the end of Assassination Classroom. And that is, will they try to save Koro-sensei, or will they try to kill them? Now, here is the thing. We come to find out that they have 1 month to try to find a way to save Koro-sensei, and if they cannot find it out in that given time, they will have to go back to trying to kill Koro-sensei, because regardless of what the kids of E-Class want to do, if they want to save him, it's not going to stop the hundreds of different people and the different governments and stuff from different states and countries from trying to kill Koro-sensei, because Koro-sensei is still a threat in their eyes. One classroom is not going to stop that. They're not going to change the minds of millions of people. That's just not going to happen. So, the main thing to look at right here is, like, they need to find a way to how to save Koro-sensei, but also a way to convince them. But if they can't in a month's time, they're gonna have to continue to try to kill Koro-sensei, because you have it to where Kurasuma, he is telling them, I don't want anyone else to kill Koro-sensei besides you, the class here, because I feel like that would be so much better. So, they pretty much said, yes, don't worry, if we cannot find something, if we cannot save Koro-sensei in this due time, we will try to kill him. So, that pretty much lets us know that killing Koro-sensei is not thrown off the table, but the option of trying to save him is still there. So, this is really good. It kind of, helped both sides, both teams. If you want to still kill Koro-sensei, it's still there, but if you want to save Koro-sensei, it's still there, and you could accept both outcomes of each side, because, I mean, they both got what they wanted. Now, talking about the match in general, Nagisa versus Karma, because that's mainly what this was about. Besides the moral standpoint of killing Koro-sensei or saving him, it was mainly about Nagisa and Karma coming to terms with each other and accepting each other for who they are, and also realizing their strengths and weaknesses, and also realizing that the best way to probably to get someone to understand you is to probably have conflict with them, which is very, very true, because I think this has been said in the past. You probably might have heard this in the past from someone else, because I know I'm not the first one to probably ever say it, but I have heard this in the past from many people in my different family members and other people and friends and stuff when I was growing up, and many said that you know when someone is close. Friends are close, or a couple is close when they argue, because if you don't see an argument or a dispute, there's something going on there. They're not close, because the true friends will bicker and argue, bitch at each other. Like, for instance, let's say my standpoint was Berserk is the best manga ever. But then my friend's like, no, Vagabond is the best manga ever. And we're having a big argument and dispute between it, talking our points, and we get a little bit upset with each other. But then we come to terms with each other, like, you know what, let me read Vagabond, let me see why you like it. Okay, let me read Berserk, let me see why you like it. And you get closer. You become better friends afterwards, because you understand each other a whole lot more. Now, sometimes arguments can, end relationships and stuff, but usually if you can overcome these situations, you can become closer. And this is exactly what that was. Nagisa versus Karma was, in a way, a fight to strengthen the relationship as friends. And you get to see that at the end when Karma's like, hey, we don't need to be calling each other with, like, Nagisa-kun and stuff. You could just call him, I can call you Nagisa, you can call me Karma. And right there, I love that. It goes to show you how they bonded as friends. So yeah, I mean, it was a really good moral message of this episode. It's rather simple. I think anyone could have caught on to that, but it was a truly enjoyable episode of Assassination Classroom. So let me know your thoughts. I mean, how do you feel about everything that's going on? How do you feel about our class, E-class, going to space? Which, I want to actually mention that right now. If you ended the video, like the episode when the ending song played, go back and watch it, because there is some stuff after the ending song. There is more scenes after the ending song. Like, the ending song starts around, like, oh god, I think 17 minutes in, 16 minutes in. It's rather early for an ending song. And when I got the ending song popping up in this episode, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? The episode's already over? I was like, yo, like, I just started this. And then I realized there's more scenes after the freaking, ending song. So I was like, oh, okay. And it lets us know what we're getting into. For instance, how they're going to be going to space and trying to figure out some, different research, getting research from these scientists in space to be able to save Koro Sensei. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.